Hello, hello, light beings, light workers, and whoever you are. I just wanted to check in with people and see if other people are feeling lately the way I'm feeling. Um, and always seem to be kind of opening up a little bit, right? With the vaccines, things seem supposedly are opening up a little bit more, but I'm kind of just feeling a denser energy, heavier energy past. I kind of thought I would be feeling lighter energy, but the past maybe month and a half or something, it just kept getting denser. Or I don't know, it's just me, like more is being triggered. And I thought by now I'd be feeling like lighter energy because months ago I kind of like just had a sense and almost like a vision that by June, um, kind of had a vision where the sun be almost risen kind of by June, and that the energy will be little by little transitioning over spring towards June to bring us there. So since the lockdowns happened for the full year, like it barely bothered me. And I'm in New York City. So I was used to going into Manhattan and Brooklyn and all of that. But for a year, I left I'm on Staten Island, but I, I, I left the island only once, and it was just to drive my mom to my grandfather's house, and it didn't really bother me. But since spring started, I started feeling the isolation and the lockdowns more and more, where I thought, well, this would be, I thought I would be kind of opening up more. So I don't know if you guys kind of felt that. I've heard it from other light workers that with the lockdowns, the light workers themselves are being extra isolated so that we can do this inner work. And that's kind of how it felt. It was like a double isolation. And like I was put into this tight space, and my process was completely guided to the higher self. And it's only like, this is what you look at, this is what you listen to, this is what's gonna trigger you, like this is what you need to look at here, look at this, listen to this. And it wasn't like a whole lot of what I want, like the way I used to be driven towards what I want. It was like this, next thing, next thing, next thing, put in front of me, and like I was like in boot camp or something, being trained. And it feels like now, instead of feeling like this openness into the world, I'm actually feeling like a third layer of isolation. And it's kind of, you can see my eyes, and it's, I'm having like this friction because like I want to be part of the world, but it's like I stepped out once. I went to a workshop again that was put in front of me. Finally, kind of I felt I'm being let out into the world, and I went to this neighborhood, and I was like, where the hell am I? Is this like a zombie jungle? Like people were still wearing masks. And in the training, we were like in this closed room, and we would practicing like heavy breathing and stuff. For 4 hours, we were together, and we didn't need to wear a mask. But I guess the rules of the building, whatever, it's like think like in the rooms, um, you don't need to wear a mask, but in the hallway where there's barely any people, you need to wear a mask. So I can see like the people in the group started putting on masks when they needed to step out in the hall. I'm like, what is, we're in this room together, breathing all the time, heavy breathing, and like, come on. And then I see the same people stepping outside and putting on the mask. So this kind of stuff like really gets to me. I don't know if anybody else experiences this, but it's like I can't look at this. This is just crazy. It's just I find it so sad. And it's like I was when I like drove into that neighborhood, I was like, I'm in the scene of The Walking Dead. These are like zombies walking around. I don't know how to be this live being around this. I just want to get the hell away from it. I just want to like go live in the middle of nowhere in nature and I just keep being told it's not time yet. It's not time yet. It's not time to go yet. I'm saving up, but it's not time to go. Not time to leave this area. And I'm like, oh God, I can't take this. And now I'm hearing about the vaccines. And from what I hear, most of my relatives, including my brother and his family, has been vaccinated. I've not seen any of them. I've convinced my parents not to. And I don't know if it was divine, but a couple of months ago, my dad tested positive and he was sick for a few days. So I guess he's exempt from the vaccine because, according to them, he's built immunity, so he doesn't need to. But then there's also his job might make him do it. And I'm like, retire, because he's already at a retiring age. And because my mom doesn't work, so I convinced her not to do it. And I don't know if this was the divine plan to make sure that I'm not exposed to the vaccine through being around it. Because from what I'm hearing, I've heard in two sources so far, I don't know if that the effects of the vaccine, that the vaccine creates these spike proteins that spreads to others as well. So the vaccine, these spike proteins, is worse than the actual virus. Correct me if I'm wrong. I mean, I've listened to a doctor who worked with COVID patients, and they started an organization to fight this thing. And she was saying we're seeing early results of the damage caused by just being around people who have been vaccinated. So now I'm like, well, is this like a third layer of isolation? Like I got to isolate even more. I was not afraid of the virus. I didn't care. People are like I go to the store and people hang out sanitizer. I'm like, I don't need this. I will lick this thing to show you like I have immunity. You need to have immunity. Anyway, this is just like getting frustrating. And I'm confused about the whole the design here. Like, how is all this going to happen? And how do we as light workers, or I'm sure like there's people in the groups that are just just working on clearing their karma, spiritual healings and all that. How's all this is going to affect us? What is all this going to mean for us? And does that mean like we're going to isolate ourselves even more? Like this is very, I don't know if anybody else is confused with the plan. Before, like the plan kind of made sense to me. And now it's kind of, I don't get it. I'm like, I understand the elections. I understand now they're going through the audits, the election audits, but the vaccine thing, I think it's confusing a lot of people. And I'm not sure how, like the unvaccinated, those that choose to not be vaccinated, how it's going to affect us, or yeah, I'm like, I'm not sure. And it's making me feel like extra lonely because it just feels like this is another layer of isolation. And maybe it is, you know, maybe it is another push to go within instead of looking for connecting with people, doing stuff. Maybe it is just another push to go within, because that's kind of how I saw it before. And it was hard, but I kind of understood it. So I'm just kind of wondering if is that what's happening here, like another force to just go within, go within, go within, even more so, even deeper, and the light bodies will create that protection from the effects of this vaccine. So that's what I'm wondering, if is that what's going on? And I'm curious to hear like what other people are thinking about, like what is going on right now. Like we're in May, June, July. This time, like, you know, there's talk about by July 4th, you know, Joe Biden came out with by July 4th, you know, these days. And now in US, our tax returns have been pushed to May 17th. So it's like it just seems like all this push, like it's happening around May, June, July, this time frame, but it's like the audits are happening now, right? So it's like, what does all this really mean? So it's I guess maybe I'm being impatient. I'm just like, okay, what does this mean for me? What do I do? And it's kind of, you know, because I'm seeing like people are going out, they're eating out, but I'm not. And it's like, is this like the detachment, further detachment from that life? Meeting up with friends, going out to restaurants, just going out, doing stuff that in the city. I mean, honestly, I don't even have a desire to do all of those things. Um, but it's like, it just feels like some more of the old is being taken away. Because that's kind of what I used to do, like so many people. And that's what it feels like. It's like all of this is just falling away. But what's being formed now is unclear. So, and I experienced this sensation, like I made a video about the void. That's kind of, it feels like a chunk is being removed, but there is this void because it's unclear what's going to be put in place of it. So that's kind of how it feels right now. It's like there's another gap, a void of so it's, yeah, like but it does feel like a huge chunk is of what I know, of my past, of what how I known to do things is being taken away. Let me know what you think.